Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IAM Love Builders Show with your hosts, Casper and Cheryl Stockham. We are so glad that you joined us today. Happy New Year. Yay!
Yay.
We're just cruising right on through January here pretty quick. We appreciate you tuning in with us today, and we want to give a great big shout out to our broadcast partners.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in with us. We want you to know that I Am Love Builders is a show that's dedicated to all things dealing with relationships, communication, and marriage. We are here to help you become MVPs. That's the most valuable partner in your marriage or relationship. We want you to have a strong, firm, solid, and happy relationship.
Yes.
With good communication, because we believe that if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
No doubt about that. Hey, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, and we have a TV show called Winning with Love. It's available on Zondra TV Network, the Zondra TV Network. You can download it from Roku, Apple, Amazon, and some other streaming platforms. And we also have some micro networks on Zondra TV as well. I Am Kingdom Media Network and Love Builder TV Network. And we have a lot of media services we provide through Zondra TV. So just check us out. We can help you out when it comes to TV advertising, pay-per-view platforms, you name it. We also have a free Facebook group called Most Valuable Podcast Network, where we do 15-minute interviews to help podcasters kind of get more exposure for their podcast. And we can talk about even getting your podcast on TV. So definitely let us know if you're interested. We are running a special, a Valentine's Day special between now and Valentine's Day. If you download our free app, which we're going to talk about here in just a second, you can be entered into a drawing to get a love pack. And a love pack is a copy of our book, Divorce Proofing Your Marriage, a copy of our book, Mastering Adam, 2 t-shirts, the card game, Winning with Love,
Yes,
and a MVP bronze membership. All of that combined is $399 value. All you have to do is go to our app and just join the free app, and you are entered into that drawing. So that's pretty cool. And speaking of the app, we have a MVP Lite version of the app that's free that we want to talk to you about here in just a second. Wow.
that was a lot.
That's a lot. All right. But we want to go into the app a little bit because I just finished completing a lot of the app, and I want to show people what's in there because a lot of people say, okay, what's in there?
What's in it?
Why do I want to go to this app you keep talking about, this famous app? So let's talk about the app a little bit. All right, so in the app, once you log in for free, or once you create your account for free, you'll see these buttons here on the page. The MVP Premier is really for some of our power couples, the 7-figure income earner couples, and we have an exclusive immersion couples training we take them through. So that's for those folks. Where you're going to be spending most of your time is MVP Lite as a free member. We're going to come back to that in just a moment. We also have MVP Bronze memberships. We have MVP Solo memberships for individuals who are not married, or maybe they're in a marriage and only the one spouse is willing to engage. So that's what the Solo is for. We have videos here for paid members, but we also have a lot of videos for free members. We have access to our books and so forth. And we have access to our Love Builder TV network. I want to go in here for just a second, because in here you can get access to all of our TV shows that we just mentioned. The Winning with Love show, you can get access to that one streaming there. Our micro networks, and also JVBN network is also available there. So just wanted to cover that real quick. Now let's go back up to Lite, because this is where you'll have access to a lot of stuff for free.
For free.
Yes, for free.
Free is good.
Yeah, free is good. So the first thing you'll have access to are documents. Now, there's going to be a lot more documents here over time, but right now we talk about our communications technique card. That's available there, and there's going to be some other documents there later. You also will get access to our workshops when we have them. Just click on the link and it'll take you over to our website for the workshops that we have coming up. And then retreats. when we have retreats coming up, you'll get access to those. And then we have the free ebooks. Now, these are ebooks for Mastering Adam. It's the first 5 chapters of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Divorce Proofing Your Marriage, also first 5 chapters of that book.
Mm-hmm.
So those are available for free. We also have free MVP quizzes. So we have a couples quiz that you can complete. That's free. And then a singles quiz. And then we have a purpose quiz. And a purpose quiz really is just to find out if you even know what your purpose is.
Right.
And it's funny because I bet you a lot of folks really and don't know what their purpose is.
Yeah, a lot of people are still seeking that question, the answer to the question, why am I here?
Why am I here? Yeah. And once you find that out, just like this quote here from Mark Twain, the 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why.
Yes.
And when you find out why, it's on.
Yeah.
After that, right? We also have free love assessment. And this is a love assessment that we created as part of our training and so forth. You can take the love assessment there and get some insights as to your love persona. All right. And we have, if that wasn't enough, all that is also free. Again, by the way, folks. We also have the 7 keys to mastering Adam. It's about a 10-minute video, I believe, that I go into the 7 keys to mastering Adam. We have 7 keys to a healthy relationship. And these are short videos, 5 minutes or so videos on 7 keys to a healthy relationship. We also have 7 keys to a healthy marriage that are up there. So those are short 5-minute videos that Cheryl and I go into 7 keys to a healthy marriage. And we have the Love Pack. This is where you can actually order the Love Pack if you're interested in doing that. That's really a good value. You know, it's like a $399 value. You get it for $179. That's pretty good. And then we have a referral program. Now, this may change over time, but right now we're looking to grow our app. So we're offering some free stuff. So if you get 3 folks to sign up for free, then you will be upgraded to a paid member. And then you'll get access to a lot of the stuff we're showing you and more as a paid member. So if you refer 3, then yours is free. Then you can, and you can also upgrade to the bronze membership and even the solo memberships and some of our other memberships that are a little bit, the gold and the platinum memberships are available for upgrade. And then we are looking for partners and sponsors because our goal and mission is huge. You know, we want to create the Kingdom Campus and do a lot of things there. So, and take, you know, this is a cause that is going to take more than just Cheryl and I to get this done.
Oh, yes.
In fact, our MVP couples are in this arena as well. So we're going to be talking about their program, which is phenomenal. You're going to want to definitely stay tuned for that. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and we want to be able to help as many people as possible. And we need your help and support to get that done. All right. That is our app. We'll be talking more about that later. But yes, a lot going on with the app for sure.
But it's exciting.
It's exciting. Absolutely.
It is exciting.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to bring on our MVP couples. We're excited about these guys because you think we have a lot going on. They got a lot going on as well. So we're going to be excited to bring them on. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching IAM Love Builders with Casper and Cheryl. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back in just a second.
Your love deserves the best. You deserve MVP Premier. Transform your relationship with our exclusive 5-day immersive experience for only 8 couples a year. Luxury travel, stunning resorts, gourmet dining, and a lifetime of support await you. Reimagine your relationship. Apply now at mvppremier.com.
All right, we are back with IAM Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl, and we are going to bring on our MVP guests. These guys are awesome. I'm going to bring them up on screen and introduce them. And we have our MVP guests, Edmund and Dr. Brenna Squires.
Yes,
Yep.
that is correct.
All right, founders and head coaches of the Empowered fertility and thriving together programs. And there's a lot more to that, but we only have room for that. And you can get more information from their website, encouragedandempoweredwellness.com. Guys, welcome to the I Am Love Builder show.
Hello.
Thank you. Yeah, we're so happy to be here. Thank you for having us on.
Absolutely. Well, we're excited to have you on, and we want to get into a lot. We've got several segments to unpack everything that you guys are doing, but we always like to kind of start out with the personal aspects of your marriage and relationship, kind of the dating process, how you guys met, children, any interesting tidbits about your marriage. So
tell us your love story.
Yes.
Well, we met at church.
Yes.
We were attending
That's a good start.
Yeah, we were attending a Wednesday night Bible study, and we ended up sitting next to each other. And I thought she was cute, so I started to flirt with her a little bit, make a few jokes here and there. And after the service, we just sat there for probably an hour and a half, just talking. And they actually had to kick us out. And they're like, why don't you just go on a date already? So we did. We went out for ice cream. And after that, we planned another nice little date at a hibachi restaurant. From there, we decided to just remain friends for about 6 months.
Okay.
And then we kicked off a romantic relationship.
Yeah, and then from there we dated. I think it was about 6 to 8 months before we got engaged.
Mhm.
Our engagement is a fun story as well. We could share that if you're interested.
Yes,
And then-
We're interested.
So he prepared a wonderful day. So sometimes we would do these all-day dates
Mhm.
where we would just kind of pack up everything and go to another city. And so
Okay.
this time he told me, pack some exercise clothes, pack some casual clothes, and pack a nice outfit. So I packed a little bag and we were off. And our first stop was Hilton Head Island, I think.
Yep.
And we went to breakfast. We woke up super early, drove all the way from Augusta, Georgia,
Mhm.
to Hilton Head Island. And then when we got there, we had breakfast, and it was a wonderful breakfast. I had a stuffed French toast. I remember it so clearly because it was delicious, and I couldn't eat it all because he told us we had an activity, so just eat light. So, and then we changed into our active wear, and it was a ropes course. And I had
Yeah.
never been on a ropes course before.
Okay.
It was like a 3-level ropes course where it was several hours of doing all of these intricate activities of
And obstacles.
obstacle courses
Wow.
and kind of like suspended in the air and zip lining and rock climbing. And it was the neatest thing I've ever done. And that was the first time I did that before.
All
And
right.
then and then we changed again and drove to Savannah, Georgia, where we walked along one of the main shop strips.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we had lunch in a really nice bistro area. And then we decided to head home for our final activity. So we head home to our final activity. And then as we were driving, it started to rain and then pour. And then we got a phone call. And because his phone is connected to his car,
Right.
It went on Bluetooth and it said, Hi, sir. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to reschedule your flight because of the weather. And I jumped up and I said, Flight? What are we doing? We're going on a plane or something? And he said, Hold on a second. And he quickly tried to change the phone from Bluetooth to his hand. But then he had to call back because we're in the middle of hurricane weather.
Right.
So then we had to pull over and he called them back. Now I'm kind of confused what's going on. And he had to play it off like, oh, that's just the name of something. We have to reschedule it. And we ended up going home or we went back to, I don't even know what we did. We went back to Augusta and just kind of had, I think, probably Chick-fil-A or something. And it was a to be continued date. And thankfully, the following week we were able to reschedule. And the following week happened to be 4th of July.
Mhm.
And so 4th of July, he said, okay, now we're going to do our activity. Let's just get dressed. And by now I'm thinking, okay, my nails need to look good. Because if we're planning this activity so intensely, something's coming.
This was about 6 months into us dating.
Something's coming. And so then we got dressed up and we drove to an airstrip where they had a private plane waiting. And it was a tour over the city at night, a sunset tour over the city, which was really beautiful during 4th of July because the fireworks are going off.
Right.
And then when the plane landed, they said, okay, now we have your picnic basket all ready. And they set it up on the rooftop of the airport with a picnic basket and these sparkling cider and little glasses and a whole bunch of cool little stuff that we were able to just kind of enjoy the moment together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Romantic you are.
Very memorable event.
You had this all planned out, Edmund?
Yeah. It took a few weeks, but I got it up there. It was a great time, and he was definitely worth it.
I am so impressed.
I was too.
And then did he pop the question that day?
He did. That was funny too.
Yeah.
We had headphones on because we were in the airplane. We had the headphones on and they were huge. So they were kind of like sagging on my head and I couldn't really hear much. And then when I finally turned around, it was a small plane. So there was only us two and the pilot.
Mhm.
So when I turned around, because he was trying to get my attention, he had like crouched down and he was trying to be on his knee in this itty bitty plane.
It was probably like this much space for me to like squeeze
And
into.
he had the ring and he was saying something so nice and I could tell it was very nice, but I couldn't hear all of it. But I figured when he was done talking, the answer is yes. And so yes, and by the time then we had my nice beautiful ring and we were able to get out of the plane and then I was kindly asking him, can you repeat some of that? Because I couldn't really hear it.
Wow, Edmund.
That's awesome. We're gonna pick up from there when we come back. Hey folks, you are watching I Am Love Builders show with Casper and Cheryl and our special MVP guests in studio, Dr. Brenna and Edmund Squires. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builders show, Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guests in studio. And I don't even know how to top that. That was
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Wow.
that was awesome.
He went all out.
It went all out, no doubt. You know, and even with the little hiccup with the weather and stuff like that, we still got together and pulled it off. Okay, so you got engaged. How long was it from the engagement to marriage?
It was about 6 months.
Okay.
No, I think it was about 4 months.
4 months. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Because we ended up getting married in November. So, yeah. So that was a beautiful wedding too. Like it was a very nice fall setting, and it was very good.
Yeah, it was outdoors. I really wanted to get married in the fall, and so it was either that November or the following November.
Yeah. Now, was this the first marriage for both you guys?
This is my second.
Okay. All
And
right.
this is my first.
All right. Very good.
Or only.
Only.
Yeah, this is the last one.
Yeah. And that's where Cheryl was and is. You know, I had some drama in my past. We won't get into on this show because it would take up the whole show to talk about my drama. But I'm much better now. 22 years of marriage, so life is going good.
Oh,
How long have you guys been married?
We've been married 9 years now.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. So we've experienced our ups and downs, but been able to overcome all the challenges and figure out how to work through it and just become stronger.
Yes. So speaking of the challenges and stuff, I know, you know, we've kind of talked about this a little bit as to why some of the things you guys are doing, because you're helping other couples overcome some of their challenges. So kind of let's start to unpack some of the things you guys have gone through, because you wanted to have kids, right? And you were having some challenges in that area. So let's kind of talk about that.
Yeah. So about 4 years into our marriage, we found ourselves just sitting at our dining room table, have a really hard conversation. When we first got married, we decided to wait a few years for kids. We wanted to use that time to really focus on each other, get to know each other, and grow our bond more and more.
Right.
We also wanted to kind of focus a little more on our careers and build a nice nest egg so we were comfortable.
Yeah, and so after about 2 years, we decided it was now time to start a family. So
Yeah.
I stopped birth control and we started planning.
Mhm.
And we probably planned. We really thought it was going to happen really fast, to be honest. Like all of our friends and family, we thought pregnancy would be like that. So, I mean, early on, we were looking at strollers, we were looking at car seats, we were looking at all sorts of baby stuff because we thought, it's going to happen quickly for us. Not a big deal.
Right.
And then life threw a bunch of curveballs our way between stressful work schedules. My mother-in-law moved in for a season. Then we had all these unexpected fertility challenges where the doctors didn't know what was going on. He ran tons of different tests. We went to multiple doctors, and they still didn't know what was going on. And I was diagnosed with unexplained infertility, which is super unhelpful because that basically means I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And then before long, we found that all of this weight was taking a toll on our marriage.
Yeah. We found ourselves so stressed that we were avoiding the important conversations.
Mm.
We would just talk about simple things to keep the conversation light so we wouldn't have to dig into anything deep about how we were feeling.
Mhm.
And we realized that we weren't actually communicating, and it was we found ourselves just constantly doing our own thing.
Mhm.
We also saw that we let our boundaries slide at work and with family, with that, it all just became a little too much.
Yeah, and that's pretty much when we found ourselves sitting at the dining room table. There was so much tension in the room that night. I mean, so much emotions. Emotions were high. We shared our feelings, our fears, our frustrations, our overwhelm, our heartbreak of what was going on in every single area. We knew it was really hard to open up with all of the stuff that was going on because it was a lot at that point. But we knew it was necessary because at that point, it was something was gonna break.
Mhm.
Either we were gonna break or these bad habits were gonna have to break.
Mm.
But we realized that conversation was just a turning point for us. We realized that doing it on our own just wasn't going to work. We had to come together and just become a strong team again, learn how to work together to strengthen our marriage, to have those good conversations, to talk about the real things. And from there, we decided to sit down and really share how we were feeling and take time to listen to each other and really map out a plan forward on how we can move away from this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
did you have any help from any outside help, like any church leadership,
coaching.
counseling, anything like that?
at that time, I would like to say we did, but we honestly didn't. When we talked about it, it's kind of funny because as a psychologist and someone who does that, that's something that I brought up, but it was something that he wasn't comfortable doing at that moment,
Yeah.
and he didn't want to do counseling at that time or therapy or coaching, but looking back, we probably should have done it. We thought, well, we're experts in our own fields. Let's see if we can figure this out.
Okay.
And so we kind of were able to figure it out,
Mhm.
but it definitely took us so much longer on our own than if we had chosen to have help at that time.
I was making so many assumptions about what the what the therapist or counselor would say or think, that it would be, I would already know the answers, and I was making assumptions about how Brenna would feel about what I was going to share. So at that time, I was making a lot of assumptions, and later realized that I was wrong about most of them.
Yeah.
But that is so typical
Yeah.
of couples,
Yeah.
which is why they avoid coaching. They avoid asking for help.
Mhm.
And it's that whole stigma of shame, of the enemy boxes us into a corner and say, you don't want to tell anybody. Just keep it to yourself. This is a private situation, which means it gives him more ammo to box you while you're standing in that corner, helpless, and keep bringing those false assumptions to your minds and fear. And it happens in so many couples.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of relationships and marriages could be easily saved, could turn around, could
Mhm.
progress if we got over that fear, that stigma of asking for help.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely helps speed up the process. We realize in retrospect, looking back, while we were able to figure things out,
Mhm.
we were able to, it would have been so much faster had we had help. It would have been so much easier if we had help.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So
much better.
let's continue that here. We're going to take another quick break. You're watching I Am Love Builders show with Casper and Cheryl, and we have our awesome MVP guest in studio with us, and we are talking about maybe a sensitive topic, but definitely something that a lot of couples need to hear and understand going forward. So we'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builders show, Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio. We have Edmund and Brenna Squires, and they're founders and head coaches at Empowered Fertility and Thriving Together programs. And please go to their website and check them out. We're going to pull up their website here in just a moment if I can figure out how to do it on this app. So we were talking about you guys had come to the realization that you had something you need to work through. And it's fascinating because you're both professionals in the arena and you help people all the time with other challenges. But now you have a challenge.
Mhm.
And now you're trying to figure out how to get yourselves through it so you can move forward. So kind of let's pick up on that conversation. So how did you finally have like a breakthrough, I guess, in that situation?
Well, we decided while we were sitting at that table and over the course of the last 9 years, we realized we were missing a couple of things. And so at that time, we realized we needed to go back to the basics. We needed to go back to the basics and look at things that were adding stress to our relationship and remove them.
Okay.
And then look at things that added joy and fun and start putting more of that back to add more balance into what was going on. And so over the course of our 9 years of marriage, we identified 8 key factors of what will actually help with that. And that's something that we integrated into our course, Stronger Together, because we realized we need specific things. And again, taking some things away and adding some things was the key.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, so you started working through that and putting those pieces in place. Give us some of those things that you started to remove from your day-to-days.
Well, one big thing was assumptions, like I mentioned earlier, because making assumptions can really lead to very negative results. Just like what I was talking about with counseling, that held us back from actually getting help that could have shortened the amount of time that we sat in that bad period.
Yeah.
So communication, there's a lot of miscommunication.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why, at least for us at that period of time, we had a lot of miscommunication was our schedules.
Mhm.
Our schedules were very mismatched.
Mhm.
At the time, I was working as a full-time psychologist, which means I was working 40 to 50 hours a week, sometimes a little bit more, and I was working during the daytime. And he was working rotating shift work.
Yeah.
And so every 3 or 4 months it was. You want to explain
Change. Yeah, every 3 or 4 months I would change. There were 3 shifts, day, night, and one in the middle called mids.
Wow.
And they were 10-hour shifts, and we would miss each other constantly. And when we were together, I was almost always tired, and I'm not fun to be around when I'm tired.
that?
So it definitely didn't help our communication. It didn't help our marriage. It drove a big wedge in between us. So we had to really sit down and talk about it and figure out how to build boundaries into our work life so that we can stop prioritizing work so much over our marriage.
Mhm.
And one of the big ones that we did was decide to leave that job. So I sat down with my boss and I told him that this is my 2 weeks, that I can't do this anymore.
Right.
I can't do this kind of work schedule and still maintain a happy marriage.
Sure.
It was a blessing that God gave me that kind of boldness to do that, because from there they said, okay, fine, let's just put you on a permanent day schedule, and it got a lot better than that. And then,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it was kind of interesting how when we made that decision, at least for his job, he stepped out and said, I can't do this. I quit. And they said, whoa. We can't quit. We like you. How about we just keep you on days?
Yeah.
Right.
Which we didn't even think was an option.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
we found it. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say exactly. I've been in situations in the past where I've worked at places and got to the breaking point, and I put in a 2-week notice, or I tried to put in a 2-week notice, and they're like, no, you're not leaving. Sorry. What do we have to do to fix this or whatever? And for me, it was just a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more income. It wasn't like I was asking for the world, and because of who I was at that time, it worked. And it's funny because the guy that was sitting next to me, because I was in a call center, right? So we were in a call center, tech support. And the guy sitting next to me, we're just kind of chatting, and I kind of told him that I had put in my 2-week notice and they wouldn't let me leave. And he said, I'm gonna put in my 2-week notice. Well, he put in his 2-week notice, and
They said bye.
an hour later,
Oh no.
they didn't even wait 2 weeks. They said, no, you can leave now, my friend.
Oh man.
Oh no.
You have to know your limitations. Basically.
I mean, we were willing to walk.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was too, but yeah.
It's nice to get that blessing, right?
Yeah, so he did that for his job, and then for mine, I cut down on my hours. I was working, I think I cut down to about 30 or 35. So I went from 40 to 50 and then cut it down to 30 to 35.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I cut it way back, and so then we had more time to add in the good things. So we were reducing stress by one of the things that we were prioritizing. We stopped prioritizing that. We started prioritizing our relationship, and then started adding more of the good things.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take another quick break here, and no, we're not going to take a quick break. We have about a minute and a half before we take the break. But what I was going to say is, after this next break, I wanted you to think about I think you said there's like 7 or so things, or half a dozen things. So let's kind of go through those, if you don't mind, to talk about some of the things people can do to get on the right track, getting stronger together, right? In their marriages. Sound like a plan?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you guys had the wisdom to sit down and be vulnerable and share where you were.
Yeah.
And that's something really big that we want you to share about, because a lot of couples don't do that, or they won't do it, or there's too much fear in doing it, or there's too much pain in doing it. And so for people to know that there are other couples who've gone through or are going through the same thing, it would be very encouraging. So yes, after the break, we want to hear more about that.
Will do.
All right, so we're going to take that break now, and then I'm going to try to do some technical stuff, which I may be able to do. This is going to be a longer break. It's going to be almost a minute, but when we come back, we'll be able to get into some of those things. You're watching I Am Love Builder Show. Casper and Cheryl will be right back in just a moment. Welcome to I Am Love Builder's MVP premiere. Your marriage or relationship deserves the best. You deserve MVP premiere. Introducing our exclusive 5-day one-on-one intensive immersion training. A life-changing experience for only 8 couples per year. From door-to-door charter travel to your choice of 4 exclusive locations. Gourmet dining, romantic outings, and VIP local transportation. We thought of everything. And the best part is, you gain lifetime access support via phone, text, or video chat. Your relationship reimagined. Reinvented, renewed MVP premiere because you both deserve nothing less. Apply today. Spots are filling fast. All right, we are back. I Am Love Builder Show. Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guests with us in studio, and we're going to pull up their website, guys. I think I have this figured out. So we're going to pull up your website here, and we're going to talk about it.
Here we go. Very good.
Yeah, there it is.
Look at us.
Look at that very attractive couple there. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's get into some of these tips that you guys have or strategies you have for your Stronger Together programs.
Yes. So the first one is, like you had mentioned, was communication. So communication foundations, just getting back to the basics of communicating. Like you had mentioned, there are a lot of emotions that go into trying to conceive, trying to have a baby, and experiencing fertility challenges. There's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of frustration, a lot of sadness and discouragement, a lot of overwhelm with everything that's going on and not understanding what's going on. And so having that vulnerability to say all of it. And that's what's so important with the communication, where you're with this person that you've chosen to spend your life with. And so it ends up being this. So for some people, it's easier than others. And at the end of the day, it has to happen. It's kind of that make or break moment of exposing everything and just being open and honest with how you feel, open and honest about what you're seeing, open and honest about the decisions that you're making and what you want to do, and being able to listen to that other person. So communicating is super important.
Communication.
That's one of the big things that we talk about with couples, because it's one of the most difficult things to do.
Yes.
And do I share some things? Do I share everything? And how much is too much? And the answer to that question that I like to tell couples is when the other person says it's too much. Because if you're assuming that it's too much, then you're making assumptions about what the other person may or may not want to hear, what they may or may not be able to handle. So you can start by saying, can I share this with you? And then share it and keep going until they say, okay, this is a little too much for me. Can we take a break?
That's good. That's good. I know after 22 years, I got to the point to where I would think in my mind, should I share this or not? And then I would share it. And she said, oh, so what made you want to share that with me? I just thought No doubt. Well, communication is definitely one of the top 3 for sure. So that's definitely something they need to know. What's another one?
So another one is building out a game plan. So talking about your fertility goals, talking about where you want to be and how you want to get there, and understanding as well as how you don't want to get there. So it's you want to be on the same page. You want to sit down with your partner and talk about like the fact that you would want to get pregnant, or that you do want to get pregnant, and how you want to get pregnant, whether that's only through natural conception, whether you want help using IVF or natural supplements or other homeopathic methods.
Right.
Just understand, like, try and get on the same page with those goals. And you also want to identify any financial implications that come along with those goals, because some of these methods can be very expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, we've spoken to several couples specifically about the finances, and I know I was talking to one couple, and they were saying that they've done several rounds of IVF, and it was costing so much money that he didn't want to do it anymore. He wanted to take a break.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she wanted to keep going. And that's not the first time we've heard that. We've heard that from several couples where one person wants to keep going and the other person is saying, I want to take a break either because of finances or because because it's emotional roller coaster, and making sure that you're on the same page with where you're going why you're going there. Because I've spoken to other couples that aren't in our groups, but in different Facebook groups, and they had mentioned that strain actually is what led to their separation or their divorce, because the finances, the lack of communication, and not being on the same page. And that kind of leads into one of the other things that we talk about is teamwork, making sure you're working together as a team. It's not my baby. It's not his baby. It's our baby. So it's our fertility. So we're both working on getting good supplementation. We're working on getting good nutrition. We're working on our collective goal is, what are we doing to help us get pregnant?
Yeah.
And so that's the main goal.
Yeah, it sounds like a very holistic approach to it, as opposed to it's your problem or it's his problem, something like that. The treatment that you mentioned, I've heard that treatment before. Kind of explain to our audience what that treatment entails. I think you said, is it IEF?
Oh, IVF.
Yeah.
Yep. So would you like to take that?
Yeah. So in vitro fertilization, so they have different stages of different types of ways that you can get pregnant. Usually the first route that they do is an ovulation induction, which is through medication, which is when they help your eggs to kind of pump out so that you can ovulate, and then that'll help with conception. And then this next phase of IUI, intrauterine. And then what that does is they time it correctly. And so that way that they can inject the sperm. Then they have IVF, in vitro fertilization. And this is our rough explanations of this. We didn't go all of these routes.
Yeah.
So IVF is when they take the sperm and they take the egg and they take it out of both of you, and then they put it together and they create an embryo
outside of the body,
and then they implant it in the body once it has reached a certain point. Usually I think it's like 3 or 5 days. Once it's reached a certain point where it is now considered an embryo and ready to fully implant.
Yeah.
Okay.
We decided that we did the ovulation induction. So we used something called Clomid, which induced ovulation for us. And we did, I think, 5 rounds of that. And they don't let you go past, I think, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
They don't let you go past a certain amount because they want to make sure that we don't use all your eggs.
Yeah.
And so we did 5 rounds of that, and we were unsuccessful. And then they gave us the other options, but we didn't want to pursue those other options, the IUI, IVF, and then another one was surgery. We didn't want to pursue those options at that time because in our minds, if you don't know what's going on, we don't want to keep pumping my body full of all of these medications that may or may not work. And it basically caused my emotions to be a huge roller coaster while I was on it. And so it's almost as if each phase kind of you up the level of medication, and then it kind of increases the emotional swings that you have. And I thought, if I couldn't handle this one, which I considered like level 1, if I couldn't handle this, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do on the other ones. And so at that point is when we kind of branched off and started our journey to elsewhere.
All right,
That's
all
when
right.
we started
We're
our
gonna-
journey to kind of figure it out.
We're going to pick that up after the break. You're watching I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio with us, talking about a very sensitive topic, but one that definitely needs to be heard by as many people as possible, especially if you are trying to have children and start a family. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl in studio. We have our special MVP guest, and we're talking about a very, I think it's a timely topic because a lot of folks are struggling. I'm sure you know this because you're in the business of helping those people. So they can reach out to you by going to your website, encourageandempowerwellness.com. Get a lot of great information. We had the site pulled up. In fact, we just pop it back up there on the screen. That's the website. Lots of great information. I was going through the site and there's just tons of stuff. If they come to your website, where do you think they should start? Is there a good place to start on your website?
Trying to find it.
Like to
Coaching
learn more?
programs.
Yeah, the coaching programs is a good place to start.
Coaching
That'll get you started and pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, and if you want to know a little bit more about us, some people just want to learn about the people behind the scenes. Who am I going to be working with? Thus, the about page, about me page gives a whole bunch more information about who we are, what we're passionate about, and just some of our background.
Awesome. Okay, we'll pull that up again here right before we end the show. This is our last segment, guys. I know it goes fast, but
Yes.
So you're in this process. You've kind of run to some dead ends, if you will. Where are you at now in the process, and what does the future look like?
Yeah, so we've been on this journey now for 7 years. We started off with traditional medicine. That didn't work. We moved over. We tried to do some natural ones. Then we went into functional health. And then we moved into homeopathic.
Okay.
And that's where we're at now. We're in our second year of homeopathic treatments. And we've seen a significant improvement with emotional health, physical health. The health of my menstrual cycle has changed significantly.
Okay.
We've worked on taking away a lot of barriers. And so we know that my body is able to ovulate. My body is able to, I think, conceive. And now we're working on having it stick to the fullest. And we want to be able to stick all the way to full term. And so at this point, we have not had any children make it to full term. And that is our goal. And so we are still working with a homeopathic provider to be able to give us the best treatments possible. And right now we're working on the deeper dive, so to speak, where we're going back into inherited tendencies. Like with me, it's my immune tendency. My immune system tends to be overreactive. And so working on that immune tendency at a deeper cellular level is something that we're working on right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Does some of this also include nutrition, foods, what we eat? Because I have a holistic health coaching background, so I know that is, especially with all the things that they're putting in our foods today.
Yes.
Things that we're totally unaware of.
Yeah.
I'm sure that plays a huge part in your journey.
Yes, absolutely. We changed nutrition like a 360. And I know we went through some intense diets. We did an AIP diet, and that was very intense.
Which is autoimmune protocol.
Where you take away a lot of foods, anything that has to do with any inflammatory foods,
right?
Which feels like most of them. By the time we started eating and that diet, we didn't have as much foods. Then we moved to a paleo diet, and now we are mostly a whole food diet where we have mostly single ingredient foods. We started integrating raw milk into our diet as well, raw dairy, a lot of omega. We also started doing better supplementation. We recently got an infrared sauna, which is my new favorite treat. So a lot of positive changes, exercising,
Yep.
frequently.
And throughout all this, we've definitely had like a lot of ups and downs with our relationship and mentally. And we've had to, I know I've been into some really down states. And during our conversations, it really helped when she put a lot of effort into making our conversations feel like a safe space for me where I could share, where I wouldn't be judged, where I could start sharing my feelings, and that would make her even more comfortable to share her feelings. And then we could work on each other's feelings and work on making each other feel better, feel stronger, and feel much more united.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you guys ever thought about adopting? Or is that
We've thought about it. We've talked about it. Right now, it's not in our game plan.
Okay.
But we're not completely closed off to it.
Yeah, we're making these little inch by inch progress, and we can kind of see all the progress. So that part is exciting, where we can see the progress going on in our health, and we can see the progress going on. And God also gave us a promise many years ago that we would have children naturally. And so we've been holding on to that promise. And even though we've considered other options, we keep on telling each other, well, he's promised it. So at some point in time, it's going to happen.
God's got this.
Yeah. You don't want to be like Abraham and Sarah and force it.
Exactly.
But I've also seen cases to where couples weren't able to have children, and then they adopted a child or two, and next thing you know, because of the there's no stress anymore, all the stress is removed. All of a sudden now, everybody's getting pregnant.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's a shortcut.
Yeah, I have a good friend that went that route. And while she was in the process of adopting one, she got pregnant.
Yeah.
And so she now has 5 children. 3 of them are natural, and 2 of them are adopted. And I mean, I talked to her about it, and she says those also pose their own challenges when it comes to having a child.
Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, it's not cut and dry for sure, and you guys are doing well. You're thriving and helping other couples through this process. So we're so proud of you for that. So let's say a couple is out there trying to figure this out. I mean, obviously you want them to come, to reach out to you. And if they do reach out to you, what's the process? What's the process?
Yeah, so when they go to our website and they click on the link to tell me more, we schedule a consultation where it could be one or both of us in the consultation, and we just sit down together and talk about what you're looking for. Are you looking for someone to come alongside you and be that fertility coach, where you're looking for someone to kind of walk you through understanding your options, walk you through how to help you advocate for yourself with the doctors, and then how to build your relationship? And then the other program called that one's called Empowered Fertility. Or are you looking for just more growth in this process as a couple? And that one's called Thriving Together. Do you just want to grow stronger in your relationship? So the first step is when they click on one of the programs and they click on the link that says, I want to learn more. We schedule an appointment. We talk about their needs and what they're looking for. And if it feels like a good fit, then we would proceed to a coaching program. And that typically takes 2 to 3 months. And if you want to continue, then we would just do it on a monthly basis based off of the goals and where you want to go.
Well, that's phenomenal. And we are so excited for you guys to be on our show. Love what you're doing to help couples. And we are praying for some children in your immediate future. And it's just going to be exciting, to have this process play out for you guys. So,
and I just want to give you something to hold on to, that while you are going through your journey, think of your business, your company, as you are helping other couples. Know that you are sowing seeds.
Right.
You are giving, you are planting seeds with each couple that you help, each couple that you connect with, each couple that you encourage You step outside of yourself. You share what you've gone through to be a blessing to them. You're sowing seeds to your future,
Amen.
and it will be prosperous.
All right.
Thank you
Amen.
so much.
You're so welcome. Hey, folks. Season 1 of our show, I Am Love Builder, Winning with Love, is up on Zandra TV. You can go to IamLoveBuilders.com or download the Zandra TV app from Roku, Apple, Amazon, and watch it. Or you can go to YouTube and search for Zandra TV. And we will see you guys on the next show. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.